Hey everyone, this here's Aces Full with your host, Craig Guy Sr., coming at you here with the video tonight. And as always, my videos are brought to you by Butler's Fitness Evolution, butlersfitness.com, for all of your tactical, personal training, and dietary needs. Give us a shout out if you're looking for something like that. We're going to start posting some videos here in the near future of some of the things that we'll be offering. Tonight's video is Once Was a Time, Part 3. All right, it's a series I've done. I kind of started this whole platform with that, and we're going to be talking about different things at different times of history, maybe things from a childhood, maybe things from TV, and those things that you might be able to relate to or bring back a little memory and turn back the hand of time. So let's just jump right into this. Once was a time when your word and a handshake sealed the deal. Your word and a handshake sealed the deal. Done. You could trust each other. You need no big, lengthy contracts, signing things that thick. Your word and a handshake. All right. Once was a time when you actually had to get out and crank the car up. The old Model A's, the old Model T's, whatever they were, that you had to crank the car up and get the engine going. I'm sure you all have seen some of those things, right? Once was a time when O.J. Simpson was actually the leading rusher in the National Football League. Once was a time when O.J. Simpson was found not guilty of double homicide, and you all know the rest of the story on that, the Ford Bronco chase, the whole 9 yards. That's a podcast for another day. Once was a time when, now excuse me, my glasses are all messed up here. Once was a time when streaking was popular. Right? Some of y'all might remember back in the 70s and all, men and women from time to time would just get undressed and run across the field, whether it be a soccer field, football field, baseball, whatever. It was so popular back then that the country music singer, and I can't think of his name, actually wrote a song called The Streak. All right, you might want to look that up and look at some of that history. But for some reason, streaking was the end thing to do. All right, and some of y'all probably did on your college campuses or wherever you went to. There's many times I walked around with just my duty belt on. Anyhow, moving forward. Once was a time when the Beatles invaded America and not the Murder Hornets. Some of y'all remember the 60s, early 70s, when the Beatles actually invaded America and we didn't have no Murder Hornets then. Okay? Once was a time when the Constitution has been changed 27 different times as our country has evolved. Once was a time when that happened. 27 times we've made improvements and amendments and done things that have helped the nation. All right? Just look it up. Once was a time when shows like All in the Family, Archie Bunker, some of y'all might remember that guy. All right? The Jeffersons, Good Times, and Sanford and Son were all sitcoms on TV during the 70s that were very popular and they were very sarcastic. People enjoyed them. Because at that time in our lives, we had thicker skin, right? We didn't get our feelings hurt so quickly, okay? Once was a time when putting syrup on your pancakes was just absolutely delicious. Once was a time that used to happen. Once was a time there were no gun laws in the United States of America. There were absolutely no gun laws in America. The first thing I could find of any legislation about gun laws, national legislation that is, was June 26, 1934. June 26, 1934. Okay? Very interesting fact there. Once was a time when we used to say, love thy neighbor. Actually meant something. We've lost that mutual respect of each other in the communities and things, and we need to get back to that. Love thy neighbor. Much different outcome. Okay? Once was a time, if you looted, burned things to the ground, or violated the laws, you were criminally charged and you had consequences for your actions. Right now in our country, we're having a real hard time with that because some of the leadership in certain jurisdictions, for whatever reason, just don't want their cities to be protected and those laws to be enforced. Very odd times that we're living in, right? Once was a time when places like Los Angeles, California, Seattle, Atlanta, and other cities, New York, were safe to visit. I probably wouldn't go there right now. Very hard times around the country, but those places, especially as they defund the police. Okay? Once was a time when barbers were also considered doctors and dentists. Barbers were doctors and dentists at one time. You can go there, get your arm amputated, get your teeth fixed, and get an infection taken care of. All in one sitting. How about that? Right? And get your hair cut. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. They used to do what's called bloodletting, where they'd let the infections out and those types of things. Barbers were dentists and doctors. Check that little tidbit of information out. Once was a time when Joe Biden could actually speak in a complete sentence. That's fact. Once was a time when he used to be able to do that. Once was a time when Donald Trump referred to COVID-19 as the Kung Flu. He said it was the Kung Flu not too long ago. Flipping over in the Maryland side of things. Once was a time when St. Mary's City, which is located in St. Mary's County, Maryland, was the actual capital of Maryland. It was not Annapolis. St. Mary's City was the first capital of the state of Maryland. They found it to be too inconvenient. Those of you familiar with St. Mary's County was way out of the way, so they moved it up to Annapolis to be more of a central location in that state. A little tidbit of information there for you. Once was a time that real men didn't wear Crocs. So if you're a man walking around the house with Crocs on, well, I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm moving on to the next item on the list. Real men don't wear Crocs. All right? Once was a time when the old Woodland BDUs was the Army's choice of uniform for their combat uniform. Shortly after the Vietnam era and about the early 80s, I guess, they went to the BDUs, and now it's the ACUs and everything else. The Army's always changing uniforms, right? Once was a time when news channels would actually give you the truth. They had a wide variety of mix, and they would give you some truth in there, right? Now I don't really know what to believe anymore, right? You tell me a news channel that you trust and that gives you the real bona fide, straight up, no left, no right, call it down the middle, and you're not going to be able to tell me one. Guarantee it, all right? Prove me wrong, okay? Once was a time when clothing originated 170,000 years ago. That's when the first piece of clothing was originated, 170,000 years ago. Imagine how far we come now, right? Once was a time when having holes in your blue jeans meant you probably didn't have a lot of money, right? People look at you and say, wow, that kid must not have a lot of money. Now people buy blue jeans with holes already cut in them. Damnedest thing I've ever seen. Kind of weird, right? Once was a time when the TV, electrical TV, was successfully demonstrated for the first time in San Francisco, September the 7th, 1927. 1927 is what I've come up with. If you've got anything to dispute that, hey, shoot it out at me, right? Staying with St. Mary's County, just for those of you that don't know this, St. Mary's County has the oldest sheriff's office in the United States. Oldest sheriff's office in the United States, 1637. The oldest sheriff's office. Once was a time, right? Once was a time Bruce Lee and Jimi Hendrix were icons in this country. Their names still resonate today. Actually, somebody defaced the Jimi Hendrix monument there in Seattle and spray painted on it, and somebody was actually arrested for that. They were charged for defacing the Jimi Hendrix monument, statue, whatever you want to call it. And of course, Bruce Lee speaks for himself. He was he brought a different viewpoint of martial arts to this country, right? Once was a time. Once was a time in this country when we could disagree and still be friends. We could actually disagree about something and be mature about it and shake hands or give each other a hug or whatever and move on. We struggle with that in today's world today. If someone doesn't like what you say, they unsubscribe from your channel. If someone doesn't like what you say on Facebook, they unfriend you. If somebody doesn't like something on TikTok or whatever, they say negative things about you, right? We have gotten away from being who we once were. We need to get back to that. Treat each other with respect and dignity. And I can tell you now, we're going to come out of this A-OK. Got a lot more things I could say. Once was a time, I could probably build a whole platform on that. Got some other topics I'm going to cover in the near future. If there's something you want me to touch on, shoot me a comment. I don't get a lot of comments. You know, don't be afraid to send me a comment that's of value. I got a comment last time about something to do with some porn sites or something. I don't need comments like that. I would appreciate that you not post those things. I got kids and grandkids and things that watch my channels, and they don't need to see that nonsense. So be respectful of your comments, okay? Don't be a hater, all right? I'm not hating on you, all right? I appreciate what y'all do, appreciate what I do. If you like the channel, subscribe to it. If you don't, that's okay too. Once was a time, we're going to keep moving forward, folks. Here we are. Everyone stay safe. That clock is still not ticking, but once was a time it did. I got the face over here. Y'all know what that's about. My wife's too shy. She's camera shy. She don't want to get on the camera and talk about it. But eventually, in moving forward, Aces Fool is going to have some guests. I'll be changing my platforms from time to time. I'll be posting some workout videos here shortly once I upgrade my equipment and do some other things. Hey, I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm enjoying this. Smash that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. And let's keep it moving. Be safe. Enjoy the week. Thank you.